Tim, welcome again.
Thank you.
And thank you for your talk. It's amazing how you can handle do the talk and writing in the comments and everything, like chatting with
Incredible.
me. So you are really multitasking.
Multitasking is the future. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So and also welcome, Norman. Say hi.
Thank you.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Perfect.
Welcome from the 90s. I'm really sorry for that.
But it's also the frame rate that makes it extra epic.
Yeah.
I don't see that. So for me,
we see about 10 frames a second.
It's really nice. So
interesting because it's enough for Netflix on my side.
Exactly.
Oh, perfect. So Tim, can you shortly introduce yourself for people who don't know you?
Sure. So my name is Tim Benniks. I am actually from the Netherlands. I was born in Amsterdam, but now I live in Paris. And I am a front-end developer, but I'm pretty old school, starting many years ago. And since, I guess, 2019, I also decided, you know what, I've always worked in these tech agencies, right? Like for big clients like Nike and this kind of thing. And we always work really hard, but we never shared what we did. So now, since I guess 2019, I started to speak at some conferences to just talk about what I learned and to see if people were actually interested. And also, would I like it? Because you can also be really shit as a speaker, even though you're smart, right? So those things, you never know how that fits. And I really enjoyed it. And then now I also started to do a bunch of YouTube stuff. These kind of calls like we do now, I do also do these kind of things, and I really enjoy it. So now suddenly I'm full on our community while still working also at these agencies. But now I don't code as much. I'm more like a technical director style type. Lots of political meetings, these kind of things. And so yeah, here we are. And since I did that, I also became a Nuxt.js ambassador and a Cloudinary MDE, which is like a media developer advocate. Well, not advocate. I don't actually know. Expert. Doesn't really matter.
Developer expert would be the Google version of advocate. So it's probably the same.
Maybe something like that. But anyways, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. Do you think you are workaholic? Because I saw some post from you that you are in average working 61 hours a week.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, I know. And you know what? I'm not sure if I am. However, my wife might say something else. Now, the thing is, this post, when I read that, 61 hours, oh boy, that's crazy. And there's a part, I didn't do that before, but when you work at a tech agency like mine and you want to move up, sometimes certain things are required. So what I said, right now, I was the director in France. And I was like, yeah, but I want to do this globally. I want to represent front-end development for our 40 offices. That's a pretty big deal. And so my boss said, yeah, sure, you can do that. But nobody knows you yet. So if I just promote you now, a lot of our offices say, yeah, that's fine. Like our Latin type offices, like in France or Brazil, they kind of, what they tend to see is oh, if there's somebody who's a leader, we'll just follow. But in Germany or in the Netherlands or in Denmark, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? So what we decided to do is you're going to work next to your normal job. You're just going to work as much as you can to just get to know everybody. Work on every pitch, help people out, make sure that you, turn out the fires that go up, and win new work, pitch things, make sure that you present these kind of things that we're doing now, right? So all in the name of that company. So once you do that for a year, it's such an organic transition. You basically do the job for a year and you just put the title on. And so that's what I decided to do. And then we had a bunch of really complex projects that I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to jump on it to make sure that we actually survive those things. And then I actually make a name for myself as well. And then for some odd reason, I decided to do a YouTube channel and make a video every week without knowing anything. So yeah, those 61 hours were quite easily creative.
And it's only work, like work related things.
Generally, yes.
Yes.
And you know what? There's one thing I should say because I've been asked about this, and sometimes I didn't do the 61 hours. It's almost like sometimes if you work for a client, you have this fixed amount of hours that you work, so you just write them down, right?
Mm.
So you say I did 6 hours for the whole week every day. It doesn't always mean you work those 6 hours, but for the contract you write them down. So sometimes I did other things in those 6 hours, but then still wrote the other hours for the
Yeah.
other client. You know how that you just it's a bit of a magical trick.
Yeah.
So it's because if you do 61 hours of full on work constantly, I don't think you will manage very long.
Yeah.
But also, like when Christmas time came around, I was sick for 2 weeks because I worked too much. No corona, by the way.
Yeah. So you I saw you working so in Valtech, right? Which is
Yes.
it's like it's the media agency or
No, it's more they want to be super full service, like a lot of agencies out there, but we are actually a little bit more just on the tech side.
mm,
But our German offices, for example, are much more on the media creative storytelling
mm-hmm.
from the development side, where, for example, in Sweden, we do more interactive things and a lot of like sketching up experiences, see how
Yeah.
it fits. But then in France, for example, we do a lot of platform builds, in the US as well. So we're much more technical. We help you with technical governance, and we built a website for, let's say, L'Oreal Paris,
Mm,
which is they have a huge amount of products. They have 60 countries. It's crazy type
yeah.
of work. So that's all. It's more platform like, but depending on offices, other things happen.
And is it happening like if you working for I don't know for L'Oreal or something like this
Mhm.
big like Nike or something like that? Do you how how do you start working on like this big project? I mean, you probably don't working like on their one website. It's more like it's like for specific products or like for general products like
It completely depends on the type of work that they need and where you are as a company
mm,
in their radar. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like for example, what we this when another company where I worked, we did the Nike website, but we didn't start with the website. We just got one thing to do,
Mm,
which is some campaign for a 10K run in London.
yeah.
Right? We started with that, and then if you do that well and you won that pitch, you get a little bit more.
Yeah.
So what you tend to do with these kind of big brands is you keep on winning the projects and you keep
Mm,
on doing it well without fail. And at one point, there's enough trust that you are now the default for the choice. And if
yeah.
you can then also show, hey, but we also do storytelling. Hey, but we also do big sidecore projects.
Mm,
Slowly but surely, you can get that work. And like for example, for L'Oreal, we only do the big platforms.
mm,
Right? We build because L'Oreal has all these sub brands.
yeah. Yeah.
So we built the Garnier website. We built Kerastase website. We did like all of those bigger sites, but then we don't do any campaigns for them, like not at all.
Yeah. So,
Right. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix.
yeah. Cool. So Norman, are you frozen or?
I'm not frozen.
Well, his camera is. He is, I think, paying attention. I don't know.
I am.
I mean, do you have any questions, or I can continue?
Oh, you can continue. Actually, I find your question really good. So for now I'm listening.
Yeah, so I can imagine that like for example for Nike or for L'Oreal, you need to kind of work through the little things and go up and up. And I can
Yes.
imagine that these companies has like army of like agencies somewhere in the
Yes.
like in the different
You know
fields.
what? I think in Paris, every agency has worked for L'Oreal, and they all put the big logo on the website, right?
Yeah.
And this is one thing that was in the history of these kind of huge brands. Of course, what they do is they want to make sure that the work that is done is cheap because they have so much stuff.
Mm,
They want to keep balance with price and product output.
yeah.
But everybody gets to work for them because they're so big and they're screwing them over all over the place. This is normal. This is what agencies, well, that's not their intention, but sometimes you're not as good, but you ask too much money, but there was a political thing, so it was all good and but actually wasn't so good. And so there's you're now seeing this shift a little bit where I work, we are more at the core of what we are more aligned with the L'Oreal tech teams,
Mm.
right? So we're building the platforms, but each of those brands that we built the base platform for, they still have other agencies that do the creative work
Mm-hmm.
or the campaign work.
Yeah.
And then we tend to help out because we made like sort of a ruling of governance of how something works, how technically something you have to use Vue.js, for example,
Mm.
and this version. And you read our documentation and you need to have unit tests with 70% coverage.
Mm.
And then we set that all up for all those websites, for all those brands. There's reusability going on. If a carousel works here, it probably works there also. And then these agencies work with us and with the brands, of course, to figure out what is the best way to show these websites.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to be more centralized
Mm.
rather than being one of the smaller agencies. But we started out as one of those smaller ones.
Yeah.
Come in, and then at one point, you play some politics, you do some pitches, and you know what? It's really hard. There's an army of people at those
Yeah.
companies,
Yeah.
and people don't want to change. And now suddenly we are here to change every website they build. And so, yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but that's kind of the game in those bigger companies.
Yeah. 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 That's awesome. I I saw that I will change completely the topic for now.
There we go.
Here we go. I read in your
Plus Bitcoin.
about page that you started like as a nurse. Like
Yes, true.
that's so. This is a question. How as a nurse you ending as a director in the agency.
It's strange, no? And you know what? It helped me a lot, but I'll get there in a sec. So I started as a musician, and then I felt like, okay, I'm quite okay. I can play. I'm not terrible, but I'm probably not gonna make it. But it's still fun. And then my second fallback was always, okay, just gonna be something in healthcare because I enjoy that.
Mm.
And this was kind of a good fallback for me. And then I studied right at the time in the Netherlands where they changed the system of healthcare, where they went from completely like, for example, in the UK with the NHS, and I think also a bit in Germany, it's all government funded, right? And you might have some um, private stuff, but it's generally government funded. And
Mm-hmm.
in the Netherlands, they're switching all the people who give you the insurance were now privatized. And that was a really complicated situation, and nobody was happy being a nurse. Like from the 200 people in my class, like 15 became a nurse.
Mm.
So we all were so unhappy and we couldn't do things. And I was always kind of nerdy, like also as a musician, but also always tinkering with computers and games and
Mm.
stuff. So I managed to pay the last couple of years of my university by building very bad websites for friends and family. And that's how I had a bit of extra cash.
Mm.
And then when this nursing thing was just not cool anymore because it was not a nice position to be in with all the government changing everything. I just decided, okay, screw it. I'm just gonna build more bad websites for more money and see what happens. And yeah, there you go. And at one point, I found a new job. I quit school. I didn't finish my degree. I just started working.
Mm.
And at that time, this is like 2007, 8. Even if you're bad, you were good. There were not that many really good front end developers
Yeah.
or developers at all.
Yeah. Agree.
Like it was kind of the second bubble, I guess, or the third, I don't know. But anything we did was fine. And then you can learn from mistakes
Yeah.
and get somewhere without having studied it. And the funny thing about it is now, when I look back at what I learned being a nurse, like you learn to interact with people, you learn to give them bad news, right?
Mm.
Imagine somebody has cancer. How are you going to tell them, right? You learn a lot about how to speak, how to behave,
Mm.
how to sit, like all of this. And we learned a lot about how do you talk to doctors, because doctors are fundamentally different people than nurses.
Yes. Yeah.
Like doctors are much, this is very black and white, otherwise I cannot make the point. Of course there's going to be a mix, right?
Yeah.
But what we learned at school, we actually had like weekly classes on this, like that doctors are, they have to know so many things, you cannot know everything, right? So they tend to also focus a little bit more on the interpersonal things, and just when they get a test, they are so smart knowing their environment, they'll wing it and get a really high mark.
Mm.
But then when you look at nurses, they tend to be people who go into the books and never get out of them, and the only arguments they ever make is because they read it in a book. And that's a very black and white difference. But if you are a nurse and you argue from a book and you go to a doctor and the first thing you say is, I need this, 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 they'll not even listen to you because there's so many other things going on. And they are really more on the personal level because that's kind of how they deviate what to think about and what not. And so what these people were teaching us is like, if you want to talk to a doctor, look at them. What do they need? Where are they? Are they busy or not? And just go on their same personal level and then ask your question. And then you always get an answer. It's just basically interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
Just be smart. Look at someone before just barging in with all the things you read in your book. Right? Because a nurse would say you're an asshole because, and the doctor says yes, you're an asshole. Right? This is this funny small thing. But having learned that, when I'm in front of a CTO of some big company, it's generally the same connection.
Yeah.
Developers are much more into the knowledge of the thing and arguing from that knowledge and experience. Where a CIO or a CTO is such a smart person, 30 seconds ago, they already knew what you were going to say because they've done that for a long time. They're much more on that personal level, just looking at the room. What does the rest of the executive team think? So having learned that, I can now almost manipulate, right? It sounds bad, but now that I've learned to judge a room, like how do I sit when I say something?
Yeah.
Am I going to be more looking at people and saying, okay, they need a bit of hand holding. I'm going to change my tune a little bit. And so being a nurse made me a good director.
Yeah, it's like a game. Like
Certainly, especially in France.
I think it's everywhere like this kind of thing.
But you know what's kind of funny? I had a pitch to do, and we worked at an English company, and we are pitching, I think BMW, which is now German, right? Or always German, maybe.
Always German.
And so what we learned there, which is actually kind of a cultural difference thing, is that when you're German and you're going to present something, you want to let people know that you know your subject really well. You say, this is kind of my credential and this is an amazing presentation. But then when you look at the English people, they also know their subject well, but they always start with a self-deprecating joke. Like I drank a bit too much or didn't look at this. And then after that are amazing. But then when you go and you have put this English guy in front of this German client, if he doesn't look them in the eye and know what kind of person this is, they start with the joke and these Germans are like, okay, so you didn't prepare. Why? Fuck off. Right? And so we had this kind of stuff so often if you don't actually understand your surroundings. And I've had those things. We lost the pitch.
German.
Don't start me about the Germans. I know.
Yeah.
I know it's not bad. It's just different, and that's what makes it fun. Yeah. And in my job, everything is global. I work for L'Oreal. We have like 120 people from China to Bangladesh to New York to Rio. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So you better understand that stuff. I don't always. That's the problem, but.
I think it's hard. I guess it's hard to, you suddenly have some client from somewhere where you never met anyone from. How do you know how they will react or what is the best approach to them, right?
You never know. And that's why sometimes it's really hard. I've had people cry on me. It's like, this is the thing, right? If you are Dutch and maybe to a small degree also German or Polish or from that area, it seems like what you feel and what the facts are relatively separated. So if I give you feedback, it's based on some facts, but it's not like I'm stomping on your heart. It's not like you are bad. That's just the thing you did is not completely correct or something like that. But then when you go to Latin countries like France or Spain, what they just built is completely connected to their being and their heart. So when I say, hey, there's a spelling mistake in the client name for that deck, you have to change it. This is stupid. You cannot present like that. I had people cry because my Dutchness was so direct and so disconnected from the feelings that they have. Man, it's crazy. So I had learned it the hard way. Because you don't want designers crying in meetings. That's not good.
Nope. Yeah, but I really know what you mean. And I didn't have such extreme examples, but I'm also working for as a consultant, right? So in an agency, and I meet people from everywhere, and I see how so differently they react and how people are super attached to their stuff versus rather Germans or everything. I think Germany and north from there. I think also so the agency I'm working for is originally from Finland, and Finnish people are also very, and they're the more the joke people kind of people. So they can be super serious, but they would always try to make it look relaxed, for example.
Oh, that's cool. Because when you work with people from Denmark, they are a bit more like the Dutch, but then it doesn't always feel relaxed. They are much more on it. You see, the small difference is kind of fun.
Yeah, interesting. We had some Swedish office, but I don't know many people from there, so I have no idea what they are. But I think they are pretty similar to the Finnish people.
Probably. I don't know.
If you
honestly
don't take language.
Yeah. I mean, if you go like for example like for Czech people or like this, we are like all completely different. Like I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I think we don't. We always look like we are angry. Most of us.
We're gonna have
if you but yeah, that's right. If you meet like some like in the Czech Republic people, if you're going like through the Prague, they always looks like they want to kill you.
It's interesting.
It's
because I know someone from Serbia. Is that close? It's not that close.
I mean,
right?
they are falling into like the Slavic
exactly
culture, but I mean, like in the mileage or like this.
Now the mileage is not that close, but it's still Slavic because they also always look mad, but they're not.
No. I mean, we are not. The thing is that we kind of survive like these 40 years of communist regime.
Exactly.
We have like the big barrier in front of us. You need to break it, and if you break it, we are like completely like normal, like calm, funny people, like, and we don't want to kill you.
Okay, that sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, so yeah, that's really about the music you are doing. I didn't have time to check what you music are like playing or.
Well, at the moment, I have to be honest, since I moved to France, I didn't play much. So creativity comes in waves for me, generally. And so when I was still in Amsterdam, I played like 2 gigs a week, or 1 or 2, all over the place. But I started out as like I was playing on sessions. So whatever you needed to be played, I had to do it. And then I really wanted to be famous and I wanted to go for it. And you know what? I just didn't. I could play well, but that's not everything you need to have. You also need to have marketing skills. How do you talk to people? Now I'm fine with that, but back then, definitely not. And so at one point I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm not just going to go and try to go to everybody and see if they like me. I'll just go and do my job and have fun and then play guitar on the weekend. And then suddenly I just played what I wanted, which is old school blues music, like 1960s blues from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like the fun stuff, basically. And suddenly we got some success because you're chill about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so sometimes it happens when you aren't trying, like.
Exactly. We're just having some fun. And then it was, if we had pushed harder, we could have done something.
Yeah.
Like we did a bunch of tours and good fun. But in the end, I don't know, when we decided to move to France, actually, yeah, it was time to stop, at least with this group. I must be honest, I do miss it though. I don't play enough, but now we're moving house. As you can see, there's like crap behind me because I'm moving, and I just packed up all my guitars. And when we go to our new house, I'm gonna make at least like a room where I can play, to have something, because in a Paris apartment, it's not the best thing to play.
So you are moving to, I think I saw south of France, right?
Exactly. We're gonna go to nature.
Nice.
What was the city you are moving? It's the Lyon or more?
Toulouse is closest.
Toulouse, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I saw that lots of snow from.
Actually, yeah, my friends where we're staying, well, next week we're going to be with them. They showed me some snow. And then last week when we were there, we were looking at houses, right, to buy. And you have like microclimates there. So you have a small bit where it's like warm, then you have some rain,
Mhm.
and then after half an hour of in the car, it was like full snow. We couldn't almost not drive. And then an hour later, it was like rain again. It's fine. It was crazy. It's such a different place.
So you are not planning to move back to Amsterdam or Netherlands?
No,
No.
we have a good time here. And there's some extra circumstances like the healthcare here is amazing and my wife needs it.
Mm.
And so being here really helped us. And it's a really different type of country. And if I would go to the Netherlands now, oh, you can hear my dog, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
sorry.
Yeah.
She has an
All right.
opinion on something.
Mhm.
But so what did I say? Yeah, so in France, everything you do is quality. That's what people like,
Mm.
right? Even the most simple people. Simple people is a very stupid word.
Yeah, but I mean, I know what
Like
you mean. But
anybody from any level, they
Mm.
will have a wine fridge in their living room.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like everything about food and things that they touch and things that they do has like some value to it.
Mm.
And people take their time to think deep, and it takes a bit longer to do things, but when they do it well. And it's a very interesting country, and I really enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. I can imagine. So I saw that in I think it was also in your bio that you in the past did some modding of the games.
Oh, that was a long time ago, but that's kind of how I started, like trying to fiddle around with stuff.
Yeah,
Like I remember we were playing like, Quake 2. That
yeah,
was like
ages.
1999 maybe?
Uh, yeah,
2000?
98.
I late 90s, I would guess.
No. I think Quake 2 was like
Yeah.
97 maybe 98
No, I
because it
think
was before
Not a
Half
problem.
Life.
I can check in the meantime.
yeah, check it. Because I think I started playing that when they also had online matches.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Right?
there
It
was
started
there must be some
So it
internet.
was multiplayer already. So I
Yeah,
think when I played it was like 2001, but it was already older maybe.
yeah,
And what you could do is you can add like configuration files. In your config, you can then bind keys to do something, right?
yeah,
Or you can actually do more and more because the game files were open, not
yeah,
like nowadays where you have like all
Yeah.
these anti-cheat shit. Back then, what we could do is like make the character models red and green bright so you could see them well.
yeah,
Or if they had
Oh,
some
yeah.
sort of power up, we put that on top of their head so we knew they had the power up. Or you can get like a mega health or something that makes you stronger, but every 60 seconds that counts. So we bind like a little key that starts a 60-second timer,
yeah,
like just an MP3 on your hard drive. Like right nowadays, that's like out of the question. But we were starting to code that, and you could include config files into other files, and then you can suddenly like almost it was not really coding, it was more scripting.
yeah,
But we had things like when you what did I do? Like on certain maps, if you dropped your frame rate or FPS down to like 10, you can go into certain areas that you normally could not.
Mm.
So we had keybinds, so you would grab the flag and run really fast. And normally you would not be able to go out of a certain window because it's too small. But when your frame FPS went to like 10, you could go through with a certain trick. So we coded all that stuff. Like
Oh,
you click a button and you go through, and then you're faster, right? And we loved doing that shit
yeah,
until, of course, it caught up. And then on the server, they just checked if your client was modified, and then everything was
yeah,
gone.
of course. Yeah.
yeah,
But it was so primitive, man. It was fun.
yeah,
It
yeah.
came out, by the way, December 97.
No,
Okay, and that's when the single player came out, I guess.
Yeah, so the first version of Quake 2, yes. I guess the multiplayer came later, but
Yeah, you had some like a 1.2 version or something that had like capture the flag in it and this kind of multiplayer stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then when your ping was higher than 25 or 30 was unplayable. Like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, back then, I mean, internet wasn't that super fast thing back then, anyways. Especially
No.
in Europe.
Exactly. I think we had something like we had TV over a cable, but we also had internet over that same cable. So it wasn't ADSL, but I don't exactly know what it was.
Oh, I mean, I have internet over the TV cable as well nowadays also.
Okay.
So there's definitely still this thing in Germany, but it's not the common thing. It's just one of the possibilities. They're pretty fast usually, so you get gigabit
Sure.
internet.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Because we have fiber now here in Paris, and I have a gigabit down and up, which is not bad.
This is nice. No, I have only 200 Mbits or something.
I
You know, you can get a gigabit.
You probably don't need more than 200, right? Do you?
As long as I would actually get the 200 Mbits, it's more than you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my Wi-Fi is probably slower than that, or not much faster at least. I don't know. 5G Wi-Fi, it might be, but you know, I think the internet connection, if it would really reach the speed, it would be more than enough. But it doesn't. That's the main problem.
Yeah, because I also have like on my Wi-Fi, I just got the router from the company, and it's so bad, and so it never reaches.
Yeah.
But where I'm moving to in the south, I will get only ADSL. So I will get 2 Mbit down and 0.5 up.
Oh.
So a call like this would be hard. I would have to go on my phone to do a call like this.
Wow. It would be better to have like over your phone and everything like.
Yeah, maybe there's a mobile contract thingy that you could use instead.
Yeah, I'll try to find like a 500 gigabyte phone thing and just put it in a router or something.
Yeah.
And that might be doable in France as well because they have reasonable contracts.
Exactly.
Germany.
Yeah, Germany is pretty expensive, right?
Don't let me start.
Yeah. I will be moving also soon. So my new apartment, I just like couple days checked, and for the same price, I have here like 100 megabits and 20 upload. So for the same price, I can have 1 gigabit internet and 100 megabit upload. So it's like it will be better.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if I have to upload a YouTube video, it's nicer if it's fast. Otherwise, it takes ages, right?
Yeah. Also, like I remember I used to like modify games, and we did our own like maps in Half-Life. I remember it was I think.
Oh really? Oh, that's a bit before the Quake one, because it's the same. Oh no, it's after.
Half-Life is 99.
Half-Life is after.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same
engine?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't.
Isn't Half-Life another company?
It is, but it's the same engine.
Half-Life has Source engine.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Quake.
Quake.
But that Source engine came later, isn't that?
Yeah. I think it.
Let me Google that for you.
I am so on Google right now.
No, actually not.
Oh man, I'm on a page from 2001.
Yeah, I think Half-Life has Source.
So Half-Life publication date is 2013. What?
Okay, so
no, 98 is the original one.
Yeah, so basically they're using the Quake base, but Valve modified it. Only 85% of the code is new. So there's probably some classes that are Quake, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that I spent lots of time in the what was the name? Hammer editor, I think. Hammer, it was the name.
And so were you one of those guys that created Counter-Strike, basically?
No. But
there are so many mods, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I remember we played only like on the Half-Life we played Crossfire. That was only multiplayer we played like again and again. Do you remember that it was with the atomic bomb? So you have like.
I actually don't remember, but I didn't play multiplayer much. My internet came much later.
We didn't have
you know,
internet.
and
No,
forum.
it was not on the internet. We had like over the LAN. We had like
Oh yeah, those were the
Good time.
times.
yeah,
Yes, I preferred Diablo.
yeah,
over LAN.
we
Oh yeah, I played Diablo 1, I think.
yeah.
Hmm.
We
I
also
had to
played
stick
Diablo
Diablo 2.
1 with over the internet, and yeah, we had like first version of our, because we lived in like kind of in the small city in the house, and my neighbors lived like on the like across our garden, and we had like 100-meter cable over the over the air to them. So,
Fucking perfect, man. I
yeah,
love it.
I mean it was probably not like safe, but the first version was we had like 100 meters coaxial cable, and then we
Wow.
updated to Cat, like the normal Cat 5.
Yeah,
Ethernet, yeah.
exactly.
Nice.
So, but it was fun like to play. So they were like two brothers and me and my brother. So we always like played like together, like four.
Awesome.
So it was really cool. Uh, and yeah, we
I
play.
feel like the people in the audience are like, who are these old dudes who used to play with like coax cables to their neighbors and shit?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
yeah.
seriously, yeah, we are old. That's
But that also means that in our industry with front end stuff, I've done this like 15 years now, I guess. We're kind of dinosaurs, no?
yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It also means
mean-
we know what we like and what we don't like.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that we want to hire, for example, that come for an interview and they haven't actually built a full website. They only did like an Angular CLI project or something like that.
Mm.
But actually, if you've done it a bit longer, you also know why things like Vue or Nuxt or whatever work so well.
Mm.
Because it's just how it uses the browser the right way. But you also need to understand the browser.
Mm.
So for me, I tend to hire generalists who also know, like, how does the HTTP stack work, right? Why is performance the way it is? How is the async stuff happening in browsers? What is the SEO stuff? Because with that, it's like Vue.js, you can learn, but all those basics, if you don't have them, there's so much black magic that if you find a bug, you never know how to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Same for us. And when we hire people, we're also looking for like a broad skill set or like broad knowledge or general knowledge, however you would want to call it. You would never ask special detailed question about whatever, you know.
Well, sometimes I'm annoying and I ask Webpack questions until they don't understand anymore.
Wow,
But
that's
it's really
easy.
annoying.
I couldn't answer them, I guess. Maybe I can. I don't know.
No, you don't have to. It's not that interesting. Because that's just the beauty about like the Vue CLI, for example. It's complete. Guillaume did black magic.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how it works. It's awesome.
It's pretty great, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
No, I wouldn't have wanted to do this. I mean, he must be, you know, he must have a very tough, focused mind. If you
The
think
thing
about
is,
it.
what he can do in a short time, and that also looks really good. I'm always impressed.
Mm.
And then when he does like a conference talk, because we tend to speak on the same conferences, and he always blows it away. It's so good.
Yeah.
And his production rate is so high. There's so much stuff going out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
some
wonder when
people are
he's
like
living.
that, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's crazy. I mean, how much time does he have per day?
Well, I think what he does work at a company that does like live streaming stuff, but as part of that, he also just works on open source like almost full time. I think
Yeah.
he gets community money.
Yeah, that's not awesome. Yeah.
It's the life. It's also complicated because if you change something, your whole community can destroy you.
Yeah, of course.
You know, composition API. You know this stuff.
That was the first example that came to my mind when you said it.
Yeah,
Actually, yes.
I got to interview Evan Yu a while back, and I asked him about this. He was like, he started like this. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned a lot from that. We all did, I guess.
But the problem is also that, you know, if you come from another, you know, your Vue.js is this alternative to React, right? And so if you want to change things, you might look at how it happens in the React community, and it's like the complete different thing.
Yeah.
So React is just throwing stuff at them, and they're always like, awesome, we want to try it. It
It's
doesn't
very
matter
different,
what it
isn't
is.
it? Yeah.
Exactly. And Vue.js is so much, I mean, of course, not generally. I'm sure there are a ton of people like the React people that are also like, awesome, I want to try new stuff. But the core, like those really invested people who are actually joining those discussions, they're very focused on what they have, that it doesn't change too much.
Yeah.
They,
Well, I can understand that because, for example, on this L'Oreal work, it's like the biggest Vue implementation globally that we did. We did so many websites with the same core. If then something changes and then we have to retrain 50 developers and make sure everything still works in the next release, that costs us like 80K, right? So of course we're not going to want it to break because it's just it's literal business. So yeah, I understand it, but it's a complicated situation sometimes because you need to also innovate.
Yeah, I think they did a really, really good job in
Yes,
with Vue 3 then in the end.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess, the best way to go.
I have used it myself, but never on projects, not yet.
Yeah, me neither. So only for my own or for playing around also.
Yeah, and for conference talks or my own projects, I use it. But for example, Vue Storefront, they actually use Vue 3 now also in the stable version.
Nice.
Because they just use they use Nuxt as a base now, and they actually have like the Nuxt composition API plugin to make sure the Vue 3 still works with the Vue with Nuxt 2.14, for example.
Oh, wow, so that is possible. I didn't know.
And they have like the use hooks and everything. It's super cool to see how Vue Storefront is working now with Vue 3.
This is awesome. I should definitely check it out because it's also relevant for the client I'm working for at the moment because they're looking at the same thing. So they don't use Storefront, but they use Nuxt for their project.
Okay.
And they want to, they want to see if it's possible to go on with, for example, would be awesome because they have a lot of dead inside their client because it's very general. So a decent tree shaking would help them a ton.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I could imagine that if you use Vue 3 and Nuxt on top, you could make this possible and just get rid of JavaScript,
if you want to use Vue 3 in Nuxt, actually you should just wait for Nuxt 3 as the TypeScript is going to be so nicely integrated.
Yeah, I guess I will do this anyway.
Yeah, I don't know because the Vue 3 thing with Nuxt and this composition plugin, some stuff just didn't work that well. So Philippe, who's the CTO, he had to do so much stuff to get it in place and his team as well. It's good now, but he told me the other day maybe we shouldn't have done it, which is sad. But the result is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm super happy working with it because it feels like more composable, literally what it says, right? Because when I build APIs in Node.js, I always build a certain way, and then when you look at Vue 3, it's almost like the same. It's like the way you can restructure or destructure or whatever, putting things like not using mixins anymore. It's interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I really want to see Vue 3 more also in actual projects. I totally get that people want to wait more because it's too new still. I totally get that. But we'll definitely jump on the Nuxt 3 train if I'm still there. So let's see.
Every time we ask when it goes, Sebastian tells us nothing. So I don't know.
When it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Or time is split.
Well, there are some exciting things also still coming in Next 2 that are more general. I cannot say it though, but they are super cool.
Yeah, thanks for hooking us.
Well, at least now you know.
That's fine. Yeah. Awesome.
I'm looking forward to this, really. What? No, okay. I thought there was a question in the chat, but
no, I don't think so. I just looked as well.
So what?
Go on. Sorry.
What?
Go on.
Your connection, man.
Is it mine?
I'm not gone. I'm here.
Okay. I thought you wanted to ask something, and I thought I interrupted you. So please go on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I have like, I don't know if it's one last question or like, it's what was your reasoning to start your YouTube channel?
Oh, that's a fun question. And you know what? It's like, of course, I enjoy creative things. So I enjoy kind of figuring out music programs or video things, any of that. But I could have done that in a different way also. But I bought a webcam, the one I'm using right now, because normally nowadays I have a super fancy camera, but it's in one of the boxes behind me, so I don't have it. So I put on this webcam, which is a Logitech Brio, which is like $250 or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive. Maybe it's a bit less now, but I paid a lot. And so I put it on. I looked at the camera feed, and it looks super bad.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not better than my €50 webcam. Like, what's happening here? So I decided to dive in and write a whole article ranting on why webcams are bad. And like, because of their structure, how they're built, basically, the way the form factor will just make it bad. It's just no other way. And so I dove in and also like, what can I now do to make it look better? Like, how do I use my light and with all of that? And then I thought, oh, but why not just make a video and show the difference while I have the video on with that webcam? And that was my first video, which was like January 1st of 2020. We're still on holiday. And I had so much fun making the worst video in history, but I had so much fun doing it. And so I decided, you know what? I wanted to do something like this. I tried streaming on Twitch for a while, but that wasn't really for me because it was just being called names by 13-year-old American people.
Yay.
That just didn't work for me.
And it was like the streaming, like gaming or just like coding or?
No, I played games. I played like some Call of Duty on my PlayStation. And in the end, I was so much more interested in how OBS worked, how I made some overlays, how you can use like WebSockets to update your overlay while you're playing a game. I went completely crazy in that, and I didn't even play the game, right? So I just enjoyed
the same for me. No.
And so, but streaming tech, like in end of 2019, I didn't see it much. Now it's much more prevalent, but I didn't feel like doing that. I did some streams with technology, but not that much. And when this YouTube thing came around, it felt like, oh, this is much more my voice. I can just do things like this, do interviews. It's much more, you have something that stays. And with Twitch, once people started to become like not nice to me or racist or crazy, it's like, okay, I don't need this. So then the video thing, I still wanted to do it. So here you go.
Yep.
I guess you didn't tell the Twitch people where you went.
I think I still have my channel somewhere. Oh, but I will probably go back to more live stuff like you guys are doing now because it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's
now that I understand more, I'll get back to it. Oh, sorry, Norman, what did you say?
I said I'm happy and found it fun because he got hooked into it and does all this stuff. Because I told you that I'm currently here on an emergency setup, let's say, right?
Yeah.
I could never ever host a session with this stuff here. The internet connection is shit. I have no microphone. The camera, whatever. I don't need to say anything, right? It would never ever work. So I'm glad it's on Jiří's interest list.
But the thing is that I started trying to play some games and also streaming made me switch from my MacBook to a PC.
Yeah, I agree. I also streaming on my PC because I tried on MacBook and it was shit.
Well, the thing is, the ventilator in the MacBook was just rising up.
Yeah.
You hear like it was the frame rate it couldn't keep up. It was super bad.
Yeah, my MacBook like floating like 1 meter above the table.
So I now became a PC person. I still have a MacBook for work, but since like 2003 I didn't use a PC.
Yeah, I will be pretty excited because next week I will get the new MacBook, the M1.
So
I'm awesome. You cannot stream at all anymore.
So I want to try it, like the difference, if it will be better or not. If it, I mean, I will try OBS. I mean, if it's even like working on this, like
it probably works with Rosetta. They
Yeah.
must do some sort of release so it's native, but knowing OBS, it's much more Windows focused. So I'm not sure if they will.
yeah.
Well,
But-
maybe.
But
You know, it
we'll
could be
see.
cool.
I will. But I'm pretty excited about the performance. If it's really like they say, so it's
I've seen a bunch of reviews from people also like a month after, not
Mm.
like just numbers, but actual like video streams and things like that. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm quite excited. Like I'll keep my PC, but I'll probably save up and buy like a MacBook Air M1 because it doesn't have the ventilator in it, and it probably lasts really long. And if I go and speak in conferences again, at one point when we are allowed to travel,
Mhm.
I will just use that laptop, and it's super light.
Yeah.
And you can still code on it. You can still do enough, I guess.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm not a Mac person, so I'll try to keep my rant for myself. But I use a Dell XPS, like a 13-inch one.
Those are
which is also
super nice. Aren't they like the best
Yeah.
computers from last year? Like,
Definitely.
yeah, exactly.
At least one that I personally used. So the XPS 13 from the 2019 version, I think, the late 2019 version, and it's like really light. The battery lasts like, I don't know, a day. I
Really?
can't even tell you. It's probably 8 hours plus,
Mm.
something like this, when I'm using it in a normal way. Of course, now with streaming and so on, things are maybe a bit, but I'm battery the whole time, and it's really never an issue. I'm just charging it in between from time to time. That is.
I guess if I had to buy a laptop of Windows, it would probably be that one.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, the
maybe
Dell-
one of those Windows. There's like Microsoft
The
ones.
Surface ones, yeah. Or is it still, I don't know if they're still calling it Surface.
I think
I
so.
think so.
My wife has
They
one.
should be pretty good.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah. I read a lot of the hardware reviews and so on. They are pretty good, but as a little person, I'm not touching those because I don't know how many problems I will have. But the Dell XPS 13, there's a developer edition, how they call it, which is coming even with the Linux, so you can be sure that everything just works
Yeah.
without hassle, or without you having to wait for another month or two for people to just update drivers and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not my favorite thing to do.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely. Yeah. So that would be my choice instead of MacBook Air, I guess, because it's also a very similar form factor and everything.
Are they also the similar price? I think this
What do you pay
Air,
for a MacBook Air?
I think it's like 1,100
Yeah.
euro. But if you want to have a bit more memory, which you should, it's like 1,300.
Yeah, that's roughly the same then. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have like a 16 gigabyte memory and a Core i7, I guess. Let me check. I think it's a Core i7 10th generation.
Oh, that's pretty nice, right?
Yeah. So, but it's like the U, so the Ultrabook version. So it has only 1.8 gigahertz, but it's pretty powerful, and it has all those awesome flags, so you can do everything, literally everything with it. So if you want to use virtualization or all these things, it's really not a problem. So that's, yeah. And there is actually an updated version from 2020 that has the 11th generation, but I don't know if there's a decent difference there.
I'm not sure if Intel is still going to make a lot of changes in those iterations anymore.
Yeah, often. I mean, they are of course getting smaller and smaller still, right?
Yeah, the different nanometers, you mean?
Yeah, and so they are more efficient, so they are probably still faster somehow. But I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm also looking forward to the next couple of years, because now that Apple came up with a new thing, everyone else will jump on the train, right?
Yeah.
With, with the Retina displays, and I don't know, with USB-C even, thanks to Apple, everyone else is doing it as well, which is awesome. So let's see, maybe more ARM-based, or maybe even RISC-V based processors come out.
Isn't there like a Microsoft Surface laptop now that has ARM based that basically sucks?
Yeah, that's I saw some
I don't know.
reviews last week.
Yeah, from Linus.
Yeah, or yeah, I think or
Like this.
yeah. So it's yeah. I think it's they trying somehow, but it's kind of Microsoft the Vista way, would say.
Yeah. All the software, man, it's just so complicated on a Microsoft platform.
Yeah.
Could never work with this. I mean, the only reason for me to use a Windows system would be to run the Linux subsystem.
Yeah, sure.
Seriously, it would be impossible for me to use this otherwise. But I'm not using it anyway, so I actually have a PC with a Windows that I only used for games, but I didn't even plug it in for years. I don't know,
Oh,
3,
wow.
4 years maybe, you know. So at some point I reached the level where I said, if you now plug it in, it will take so long before you can actually do anything productive because of all the updates and Steam wants to update everything and so on and so forth. It's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, but
You know,
anyways, man, the other day I had to do a webinar for Cloudinary, really important one. I spent like weeks making the talk really complicated. And then Office updated itself when I opened the PowerPoint thing because it had to be in PowerPoint. And then midway it just stopped. No PowerPoint, no email, nothing. It just died. And this was like 10 minutes before. And then I had to re-download the whole thing and reinstall it completely. And then it worked because it didn't do the auto update. And then since then, 5 times it did an auto update and completely crashed the whole bundle. Nothing works. Like updating is hard, man. Let's
Of course.
be honest.
Of course, updating is, it's not an easy thing. But Microsoft, that company that is like earning a large chunk of their bucks with an Office suite,
Oh yes, sure.
should be able to not destroy your work on this product.
Would be nice, right?
Yeah. Would be nice. Yeah, I would be a nice extra. I would pay a bit more for that, maybe. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Aristi Desvel, okay, I'm not going to try to read this name. He wrote this whole thing with the new MacBook Air or MacBook Pro M1. That he thinks that his fan might be broken because he never heard it.
Which is a very good sign. So it just doesn't heat up as much.
Yeah. It's not good if his fan is really not working and his laptop is suddenly dying.
Because my MacBook here, which is a 2019 model, which is really expensive, I got it for my work. The fan goes on and off like right now doing this. That's the only thing it does. Yeah. So it's the thermodynamic, whatever the thing it is, it's not good. When it starts to throttle down, I can almost not use it.
Yeah. I have 2018 version of MacBook Pro and it's the same.
Probably the same model, right? Similar system.
Yeah, and the shitty keyboard, like.
Oh yeah, mine too. Like the A key is not working anymore.
I think my command is not working. It's always like stuck.
We're gonna need a Dell, man.
Yep. Just use Dell, people.
Yeah.
Actually, the fan of the laptop I have is shit as well. I mean, it's not shit, but the default setting is too high, in my opinion. So it's really, really quick going up, and then it's not that they would throttle very quickly or anything. So that is not an issue. But the fan is always running. So I manually just set it down to like.
You just changed.
So my CPU is actually throttled to whatever, a bit less. But the fan is basically never running.
Throttle is the webcam. No, I'm just
That would be fun, like I just changed the setting and suddenly I have suddenly my room is white. Not going to happen.
Maybe if you would use the new MacBook, so they have like lots of like this course for the machine learning, so it will maybe fix it up on the go.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Or I just use my
light. But
look at this! How good the light here is suddenly.
Oh, no. But they actually did it like it, right? For the MacBooks, they still using the shitty webcam inside.
Yeah,
But they're
but with a
using the
better
machine.
chip, no?
No, it's the same chip. They're using machine learning just to improve the quality.
Why not?
What you
It's
have
cheaper.
in phone cameras as well, right? I mean, that's exactly what you're doing it anyways. So all the phones, they take so good pictures because they have a ton of machine learning stuff running in the background
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
doing something. Why not doing it? I think it's strange that the laptop industry didn't really catch up with this yet, and that Apple has to do it again at first.
Exactly.
Yeah. They just think different.
Oh, dude.
Ouch.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. But sometimes,
You're not
sometimes,
gonna top this one.
yeah. I'm pretty excited about the Apple car, which should came in 24.
I don't believe it, but we'll see.
Yeah. They say that it's the first thing from Apple that will have Windows, right? So it's okay.
Is it that time now? Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Honestly, man, we should have a beer and be in a cafe, but we cannot. The
Yeah.
German style, man.
Not even I have a beer. I always have a beer for this afternoon. Always. And
Oh.
today I did manage to get.
I just have my water bottle.
yeah. I have a
I have
coffee.
Isn't that sad? That Mandarin.
Yeah, well, mandarins. It looks like onions.
Yeah, here's the
Okay,
camera.
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. People. I'm just eating my onions.
So, well, if you have time and not moving and painting your apartment, what you are watching? Are you watching something on Netflix or Prime or something like that?
You know what? I didn't know what to watch for a while. And then I decided I will watch True Blood again. You remember this show
Yeah.
from HBO?
Yeah. I didn't like see it and but
It's
I know it,
strange.
but
It's strange as hell. And it's kind of funny because this show was like back in the days, like 2009, and it was getting like the highest viewers numbers, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they canceled it at the height because they said, yeah, we just don't know any fucking stories anymore about vampires. Like there's only so much to tell. But I decided, you know what? Why not watch it again? And I'm slowly going through it, and looking back, it's still quite good, but it's also a bit weird. It's not like a typical show I would watch, I guess. Oh, by the way,
Let's go first.
no, I actually watched The Queen's Gambit the other day with my wife, and I think that might have been one of the best I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like every scene they shoot really counts. There's nothing in there that doesn't work. It's really highly curated, and I think they took them a long time to shoot this. Yeah, I had a good time with that one. So, what are you guys watching?
What did I watch lately?
The last thing I watched. Do you want to go first?
No, go.
Okay, the last thing I watched was shit. No, you go first because I forgot the name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think.
Tell us.
It's really hard because when I go to Netflix, I always like spending like 1 hour just like trying to go like to browsing the page and try to find what I need to watch. Then I'm too tired and I go to sleep. And and usually like I will turn off like something like something old school like Big Bang Theory or two and a half men or something like these kind of things. But this is like. But I think what did I watch like last time? I think I rewatch again the Mythic Quest from the Apple TV Plus. That's do you know the Mythic Quest?
No, I don't know it.
It's about the gaming company. Like it's comedy, sitcom comedy. It's pretty good, I think.
Oh, I'll check it out. I don't have time, but I'll make it. You know how that goes.
It's 10 episodes, and it has I think 30 minutes per episode, so you can watch it like
That's cool.
pretty
Yeah, that's
quickly.
fine.
And it's I think it's funny. It's the humor is pretty specific. You need to be more like, because I used to work in the game industry I did the websites for them, and so I spent lots of time with these people, so I know I have some insights. So it's for me it's like specific, but
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So it's
But
pretty.
aren't people in the gaming industry all burned out? Especially people at EA Games and stuff and Ubisoft. They must be destroyed all the time.
Yeah. I can imagine. So and yeah.
I once built a website for EA Games for FIFA 12 and FIFA 13, and we built the Need for Speed something website. My God, yeah, Need for Speed something, because there's like 55 versions. I think it was, I don't remember, but it was like 2014 or something. But man, these people on the other side, they were so sad and burned and like,
Yeah.
oh boy. But we did cool work. It was really fun to make, like, especially for the football games. We also shot the commercial, and then we made the website. And then for FIFA 12, we made something where people in the stadiums, they show their scarf, right, with their team on it. So then we built that you can type your own message, and then we would print an actual scarf. And then we printed like a scarf of like 500 meters with all the people who put it on, and then it was on the World Cup, or it was in the UEFA League somewhere. This is kind of fun stuff, campaign-like stuff, right? Yeah. But then we still had Flash. We built the 3D thing with Flash, with the whole scarf, with everybody's message. Good times, man.
Yeah.
So Norman, what was the show you were watching?
Okay, the last movies I actually watched over Christmas were oh shit, me and names. The guy whose dog died. Come on. Everyone knows.
No.
That was the original plan. Die Hard was the original plan, but
it's the with the Keanu Reeves.
Yes. Why don't we just know the name? I wondered if it would be in here, but it's not. John Wick, of course.
Yeah, John Wick. Yeah.
Oh,
so I watched John Wick 1 and 2, and actually wanted to watch the third part, but didn't in the end. We'll probably do soon.
I actually watched 1 and 2 also. I enjoyed it, and then number 3 came, and I watched it halfway, and then I just stopped watching.
Oh, really? Okay.
For some reason, it didn't grab me like the other two.
I really think the first two so well made, so really good.
Yeah.
Although they are really just simple action movies, if you want to, but the way they are made, I think.
There's not much story there, but it's made well.
Yeah.
And I think Keanu Reeves is just killing it. I mean, he's okay. Sorry that pun wasn't intended actually.
Yeah, like I have friends of mine who are really a fan of his, and they would post like a different Keanu Reeves picture on their Instagram every day. So I don't know why.
It's a bit beyond my level of fandom, but
agree.
I also watched October Faction, which is like fantasy, something like this a family where the parents are killing monsters secretly, and there's a whole thing, universe, blah blah, where all these fantasy creatures are actually existing, and they are working for some organization and somehow keeping them at bay.
What's the name?
October Faction. It's actually originally from a comic that has, I think, 5 parts. Unfortunately, the series is not going beyond the first season. Unfortunately, that's a bit sad because I think it's actually a really nice story.
Really?
There are really, really interesting plot twists in there.
Because for me, it's like I kind of like this kind of show because I really enjoy if you know the Supernatural.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I watch it as well.
Or Grimm, it's really.
I love Grimm.
Yeah, that's this kind of show. I mean it's kind of I would say guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
TV shows.
Yeah, it's also really, it's not deep thinking what you're doing there if you watch these shows, of course. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to, right? It's fine.
Yeah. That's why you're watching those as
And
entertainment.
yeah, and I actually looking for the like the new kind of this kind of TV show for like to replace the Supernatural because they ended like after 15 seasons like this year.
Whoa.
Supernatural is crazy. I didn't fully watch it yet. I ended in season 7 or something for now.
Yeah.
I could just go on for like the next 2 years or 3 years probably.
Yeah, that's
But I have to watch all the Star Trek movies first, and all the Star Trek series. Sorry, it's Supernatural. There's some time left.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Oktoberfest, it's only one season though. But I would watch it and then maybe get the comics. I thought about it already, but I wanted to have a look at them first. I didn't find them, so.
Where is this October fiction?
Netflix.
Netflix, perfect.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to watch now.
Oh yeah, that's good. I will check it definitely.
Even only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
They are pretty long. The episodes are very long.
Yeah, I mean, I still waiting for the new Witcher, but it's.
If you want to watch something really, really creepy, something just mind-fuckingly creepy, I don't know. I didn't watch it as a series yet, but I know the comic, the original comic from it. Just look at Sweet Home.
Okay.
The comic is sick. But it's really good as well. So.
Okay.
So I have a guest today for the evening. She just decided to wake up and visit me.
Based on the camera, I don't know what that was.
It's a pixel dog.
It's a pixel dog or a cat, maybe.
Or maybe.
It's a pixel dog. Yes.
Okay.
Let's try this again. Maybe. No, she also just resists because she just wants to lie down.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, in Paris, you have a lot of people that call their dog Pixel.
Yeah.
I wanted to call my was a lemming actually, like a mouse, but that's 10 years ago. I don't know, long time ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, it was a better name than now.
Back then it was still cool.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. I'm so sorry, guys, but I have to drop and go on to something else.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to end it because it's.
This is one of those where if we had a beer, it would not stop ever.
Yeah.
Which is totally. I'm so happy with this.
Yeah, we need when this fucking corona is gone, we need to repeat it but offline. So.
Exactly, I completely agree.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
We can also still do the podcast style thing, right? Just we sit together somewhere and have an actual beer.
Yeah, exactly. Good plan.
5.
I like 5.
Yeah.
How is it with German beer? Can I drink 5 and be fine? It's like in Amsterdam, when I drink 5, there's nothing. But in London, I'm dead. How does it
in London, it's in between in German.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to end the evening quickly, then you just go more to the south and get like a dark beer or a strong beer, dark beer. Then 2 beers are enough. 4.
I don't know, but when we were like always like offline with my friends in Czech Republic, I mean we usually like going like 5-6 beers and it's fine. But I mean. Yeah. Our blood is basically beer, so it's
exactly it's different.
Yeah, there is no comparison here.
Yeah, I have some friends from Poland, and they drink so much. I just die when I look at them. This is a different breed.
Yeah, Polish guys are even like special.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I want to thank you for this. I had a really great time.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for joining us today. And okay, good luck with your moving.
Oh, thanks. I need it. There's not that much to do. We're on track.
Yeah,
but the thing is, like we're staying with someone else, so not in our own house, right? And then we canceled our rent for next month. So now we had to drive like 7 hours to our house, pack it up inside the time frame, and then go back, and then the house is gone. So it's not like I can next month do something.
Yeah.
Or so you
Wow.
have to do it, and it's fine because we're really organized. But still, I feel like, oh,
I know exactly
of course.
I know exactly what you mean, because right now I last week I drove to Czech Republic, like just to sign the contract and go back, like 600 kilometers just there,
exactly.
and sign the contract, secure the deposit, and like right now I will go next week again, and next week again, and we will moving like this.
Exactly.
My rent is also ending like in the end of March.
Okay, so
So
you have
Okay,
you
you
have
have
2
some time
months
left.
basically.
Still have some time, but my contract, like official contract, like work contract, and my health insurance is ending at the end of February. So I need
Be safe, man.
so I need to go to Czech Republic, like after be in the March in the Czech Republic with the Czech insurance. So it's kind of fun to move everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I had it also when we moved to France. Anyways, that's now done, and luckily we can stay with friends. But we stay in, like, they have like something. It's like not like a hotel, but they have like multiple apartments that they rent out in summer.
Hmm.
Oh,
So if we
nice.
don't find a house when summer begins, we cannot stay in their place, of course, because that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in this balance of feeling like, okay, how long can we stay with them while not having our house in Paris anymore, and then trying to buy a place in that, like, until June I have to buy something. But if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to rent something and move shit again,
Hmm.
right? So,
Nice.
and now I just bought, like, or we rented like a storage facility close to where we might buy a house, where our whole apartment goes, and it's like strange as hell. Let's
Yeah.
Well, good luck with this, really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good luck. So thank you, Tim. Yeah. Have a nice evening.
Thanks as
Send us
well.
pictures.
Cheers, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.